Technology is getting better every year, and so does ediscovery software. We're able to process faster, we're able to review more intelligently, and we're able to get through our day better. However, there's some technologies that I feel like were better in the past. So yes, it's going to be one of those videos. Back in my days, remember how we used to do this? So yep, we're talking about some of the technologies that were better in the past, and they were kind of forgotten. The first item on my list would be physical stations. It is almost impossible now to use physical computers outside the ones that are in your office or the laptop you're probably working on. If you remote into anything, it's a virtual stations. And a lot of times, especially in my experience, virtual computers are always laggy. The responsiveness just isn't there. You know, it's not like using an actual desktop or remoting into a physical computer. Things are kind of spongy or rubber bandy. Things don't refresh quickly, don't move quickly. It is not a great user experience. And then if you move those VMs into the cloud, well, since in the cloud you're paying per CPU cycles, then everyone's trying to scale them down even lower. And so now the cloud performance of those virtual stations is even worse than they are. So I think physical stations is something we have lost as we improve our technology stack. And once you go back and use a physical computer just for a little bit, you see how good of an experience that is and how much better it is than using anything in the cloud or in a virtual environment. The next item on my list is looking at data in grid view. Now, we transitioned our desktop applications to be web applications, and that's great because that's easy on maintenance, it's more universal, you don't have to install anything, and all those things are great. But the grid view for displaying your metadata and working with your documents on web is much worse than what we used to have in a desktop environment. So think of low pre-discovery and how good the grid view is. It's the functionality that it has that WebView doesn't have, like you can drag and drop things, you can drag and drop on group, right-click filter, and all these things you can do so quickly. Why is it important to do it quickly? Well, when you're doing quality control, the number of steps you can perform quickly is what's important. You want to be quickly sorted by this column, by that column, group by that, ungroup, maybe right-click filter on something else, and you can do a dozen checks in a matter of seconds, and that's something you cannot do in a web setup grid view of your metadata. And finally, flexibility of image export options during time of production. So when we have review going on, users may say, hey, can you bulk image a bunch of documents for us? Or maybe they'll image some themselves for redactions, but at the time when they do it, production specifications aren't known yet. Are we producing in color, black and white? And sometimes images get imaged in color, and production specifications may require a black and white production. In a lot of systems these days, I noticed that you cannot make that change during export time. And all the software would allow you to image in color and export in black and white. Now this requirement is kind of an artificial requirement. It truly doesn't matter if things are in color when they should be in black and white. No one really cares. No one's going to be upset if there is a better readable image than not. But there are clients who really make a big deal about it, and they say, no, we agree to black and white production, so you cannot put JPEGs in there. You have to go and convert everything. And with some systems, it causes a lot of trouble. You have to put those images into something else and convert, and so on. And like I said, all the ediscovery software had more control over, you can image everything in color, and then at the export time you can choose whether you want black and white TIFFs, color TIFFs, JPEGs, whatever you want. So I think we kind of lost that, even though it's kind of a stupid requirement on the client side. We still have to do it, and we still have to accommodate them. So that's another thing on my list. That concludes the list of technologies that we lost to time in ediscovery. Is there anything that I missed? Let me know in the comment section below. Don't forget to follow on LinkedIn and subscribe on YouTube. I'll see you in the next video.